It all started with one call. A woman called me, and the first thing she said was, "You don't know me. But I live with your father." I froze. "What did you say?" "You're Emma, aren't you? Is your mom Caroline?" "I don't want a scandal. Simply, I need to know the truth." I dropped it. I thought it was a prank. But a strange feeling arose inside, anxiety. That evening, for the first time, I carefully reviewed Dad's business trips. And for the first time, I noticed how much of our family is based on trust. Which I suddenly stopped feeling. A day later, she sent a photo. Dad. Smiling, holding a woman's hand. They're out in the countryside somewhere. There's a house behind it. Caption, Daddy and Lily, 2022. I've known this man all my life. Or, I thought I knew. I didn't tell my mom. I just sat in the kitchen and couldn't swallow a single bite. My friend said, "Maybe it's old?" But in the photo, Dad is wearing a jacket that we bought together in the winter. I remember that trip. Everything pointed to one thing: he was living a double life. I had to find out the truth. But I was afraid that she would destroy the whole family. I decided to follow him. Yes, like in the movies. He said he was going to Chicago for a conference. Me, too. Only he didn't know about it. I rented a hotel nearby and just watched. In the evening, I saw him leaving the restaurant. Not alone. With that woman. She was holding his arm, and he was laughing. It was my father, who was always so reserved and distant at home. And here he is alive and relaxed. My hands were shaking. I realized that the truth hurts more than guesses. And now the question wasn't about him. It's about me. What am I going to do about it now? The next day, I received the message again. I don't want to hurt you, Emma. But you have a sister. She is 10 years old. I sat down on the floor. Do I have a sister? From Dad? From this woman? I didn't know what to feel: anger, fear, pity. It meant that he had been living this life for a long time, almost as long as he had been with me. I wanted to throw the phone away, rip everything up. But then I caught myself thinking, I want to see her. This girl. Who probably doesn't even know that she has an older sister. I tried to talk to my mom. She asked, "Do you believe that you can live with a person and not notice anything?" She looked surprised. Of course. We believe those we love. I couldn't tell the truth. I just stopped talking. Everything seemed so fragile: our dinners, her voice, her eyes. I started to pull away. My father came home 2 days later, with gifts. He said he missed you. I stared at him and couldn't say a word. He became a stranger to me. But I still called him Daddy. I texted Lily. I couldn't talk to Dad, but I could talk to that woman. I don't need your explanation. I just want to know, did my mom know? Did you know he's married? She answered quickly, yes. I knew it. And I hate myself for it too. But I had a daughter. I couldn't ruin everything. I've read this message 10 times. She wasn't making excuses. She was just being honest. And for the first time in all this time, I started crying. I began to notice how much of Dad's words were false. He said he loved us. That we are the main thing. And himself. He lived in 2 houses. 2 worlds. What about me? I started to lose trust in everyone. Even to myself. If I didn't notice it, does that mean I don't see anything at all? I became afraid of relationships. I shut myself off from the guy I was dating. He asked, "Are you with me, or just next to me?" And I didn't know what to say. I didn't know how to believe again. I saw her. My sister. She was rocking in the park, laughing, as if the world was fine. She looked like me when I was a kid. She had my eyes. And at that moment, I realized it wasn't her fault. She's a child. And I'm an adult. I didn't come over. I was just watching. My heart was breaking. I didn't know how to become a part of her life. Or should I? But I knew one thing for sure, this little girl is now forever in my head. I called my dad to talk. I know about Lily. I know about the girl. He turned pale. Have you been following me? No. You just stopped hiding. He lowered his eyes. I didn't mean to hurt you. But you did. And you keep doing it, every day, when you're silent. It was the first time he didn't respond. I realized that he wasn't evil. He's weak. And weakness hurts more than betrayal. I was standing in front of Lily's door. I had a letter. For a girl. No charges. It's just a letter. In which I told you what I am. That she wasn't alone. That maybe one day we can be sisters. But I didn't knock. I went back to the car. The letter remained in my hands. I wasn't ready. But it's not over yet. I carried this letter with me for a whole week. First, in a jacket. Then I put it in my wallet. Sometimes I took it out and reread it. I changed the words, corrected them. And then she left it untouched again. I didn't know what I was more afraid of, that she wouldn't accept me or that she would. That we would enter each other's lives, and I couldn't help but feel responsible. I've already lost my trust once. And now she was afraid of losing the remnants of herself. But hiding the truth was no longer possible. Every night I fell asleep thinking, what if one day she finds out all by herself and hates me? That day, I noticed my mom looking in the mirror. Long silently. As if she didn't recognize herself. I came up and asked, "Is everything okay?" She smiled, but not with her eyes. "You've become something else, Emma." Remote. I almost burst into tears. I didn't want to lie to her, but I was also afraid to tell the truth. She held on to this family like a lifeline. And I stood there, knowing that the circle was full of holes. That was the first time I realized that Mom was feeling everything. Maybe he even knows. But he's afraid to admit it. I was afraid too. We were similar, strong on the outside and cracked on the inside. I saw them again. Lily, the girl, and my father. They were walking down the street with bags, like an ordinary family. He was holding her shoulder. She was talking animatedly, happily. I was standing on the other side of the road. I looked at them and felt my heart constrict from the contradictions. Envy. Sadness. Anger. He gave her everything that my mother and I were losing. I didn't come over. But this time I didn't run away. I just stayed. I was watching. I understood, everyone has their own truth. But not everyone has it equally clean. I asked myself, which is more important, exposure or forgiveness? Dad tried to speak again. I feel like you know. I want to explain myself. I was sitting across from him. Cold coffee between us. Explain myself? Or justify yourself? He was silent. You made a choice. More than once. Many times. Every time I didn't tell the truth. He sighed. I was afraid of losing everything. I nodded, so you built everything on a lie. And now I'm surprised that it's collapsing. He didn't say anything. I just watched. And for the first time, I didn't see my father in him. And the man. Broken. Regretful. But still not ready for the truth. She wrote first. Lily. Girl. My sister. Are you Emma? I found your name. Dad told me that he has an adult daughter. I've always wanted a sister. I was sitting on the bed. My hands were shaking. She wasn't angry. She didn't accuse me. She simply wrote with childlike openness. If you want, we can just go for a walk. Not like sisters. And as friends. I didn't know how to respond. My heart was pounding. I wanted to defend myself. But not from her. I wrote, I would like to. But you should know that it's not easy. And she replied, it's not a big deal. I'm just glad you're here. I chose a place, an old park with wooden swings. They creaked as if they remembered my childhood. Lily came first. She holds a thermos and 2 plastic cups in her hands. Cocoa. Your favorite, as Dad said. I chuckled. He doesn't know me very well. She wasn't offended. She sat down next to him. It's not my fault that he left you. But I always wanted to have an older sister. I didn't know what to say. I just listened. She spoke lightly. And I'm having a hard time. But for the first time in a long time. I didn't feel angry. I decided to sort out the old stuff in the basement. I found a box of letters. Mom's. To my dad. The ones he never opened. I'm only asking for the truth. Even if it breaks my heart, she wrote. But he was silent. There was a photograph at the bottom. The 3 of us. Mom, me, and he are young, in love. I looked at this picture and felt like I was tearing up. Why didn't he choose us? Why didn't you fight? Or maybe he fought, but in his own way? I returned these letters to my mother. Without words. She read it. And said nothing. She just put her hand on my shoulder. I was walking home and suddenly I heard my name. Father. Can I talk to you for a minute? I stopped. I don't want to lose you. Not you. Not Lily. I've made a lot of mistakes. But you are my blood. I felt my insides tighten. You always said that family is the main thing. But why did your actions always say the opposite? He looked away. I'm confused. I'm weak. And now I'm strong. He nodded. It's obvious. And I'm grateful that you're still talking to me. I didn't know what would happen next. But it was a step. It started raining heavily that day. I watched the raindrops hitting the windows. And suddenly I realized that the past was pounding the same way. It is impossible to erase it, but you can close the window. I called Lily. Do you like old movies? Yes. And you? I don't know yet. Let's watch it together. She came with a pillow and popcorn. Laughing, jumping up, talking out loud. I looked at her and knew it wasn't her fault. Small, lively, real. It was like a new window had opened. Maybe not everything is destroyed. Maybe something can be rebuilt. but on a different basis. Lily and I were having tea on the balcony. The street was noisy below, but we were quiet. Mom came out with a blanket and threw it over us. "It's chilly today," she said. "But calm down," I replied. We were silent. "No, do you remember, no if. Just now. A warm blanket. There are those who stayed. Who chose, and whom I chose." I looked back at the path. Pain, mistakes, emptiness, loneliness. And growth. Choice. Power. I didn't need everything to be perfect. I just realized that I am alive. I am whole. And even after betrayal, loss, and destruction, I remained myself. That night, for the first time, I thought with confidence, this is not a story about loss. This is a story about returning to yourself. I stood up, took a deep breath, and said out loud, "Now my life begins. The one where I'm the main thing."